What is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight, and you are watching Chaos Central with the rule of three.
What is up,
simple,
everyone?
really simple. 3 panelists. Each of us give 3 questions. The 3 questions go on to the wheel of topics. We get 3 minutes each to discuss it, and then 3 minutes to either hash out our differences or discuss the topic further. Really simple rules, real simple premise, hence the rule of 3. Now, today, as usual, I am joined by Danny Graham of Comic Chats. Make sure that you guys check him out. Also, Nzo Hodges, right?
Hodges, yeah. Hodges, but you just use Nzo. We're good.
Like Nzo. We'll just go with Nzo. That'll work. Nzo's here. He's been here before with us. You guys have seen him on here. You see him on Danny's channel. You see him everywhere. We're bringing him in on the fold here right now. And yeah, so what I want you guys to do is tell everybody about yourselves, where they can find you, what you're up to lately. And Danny, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Hello, chat. Hello, people. My name is Danny of Comic Chat. That's my channel here on YouTube. I try to give good content, try to at least come with good topics to discuss on my shows. Tomorrow night, first of the week, will be my show, Chaotic Conversation. I got a good topic tomorrow. We're going to be naming the top 5 villains in the Batman villains. That's only live action, so that should be pretty good. Today, of course, I'm here with Chris to do Rule of 3. Later on today, I'll be with Nzo, John, and Terrence on Equilibrium, which is a 3-hour show.
Why am I not invited to these things?
You gonna commit to 3 hours? Because we commit to 3 hours.
No, you see, there's the thing. No, you see, here's the thing. If I come on between John and I, 3 hours is nothing, probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You, John, and Terrence.
It was so bad, Chris, that me and Nzo developed our own show called Square One, where it's just the 2 of us, so we can actually have a chance to talk. So we'll invite you to that one. But Square One is usually on Saturdays from 4 to 6.
Okay.
We weren't able to do it, but we start that off. So please support us, and thank you for joining us, chat. We appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, Nzo, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where they can find you, what you're up to.
Yes, people. There's a new sheriff in town. Nzo, you can check out my channel, Biggaford Entertainment. Like I said, I do shows with Danny. We're doing Equilibrium. We have Square One, which we didn't do today, but we will be back next week. Don't worry about that. We're also streaming with Rob at the times, and now you'll see me here on Chaos Central, guys. So, peace. Thank you.
Indeed. All right, guys. Again, really simple rules. We're going to bring it in right now. Oh, wait, make sure I do this the right way. We're going to bring it over right now. This is the wheel of topics. It's really simple. We spin this wheel, and then we get our 3 topics. The first topic will be picked. Nzo, you'll be the first to go, and we're going to spin it right now. Just remember, you don't have to use your 3 minutes if you don't wish to, but if you can, that'd be great. First topic, how do you feel about Naughty Dog making false copyright strikes for criticism of The Last of Us 2? We're not holding back today. We got some interesting stuff on this board.
And I don't want to get a strike, though. Oh, my Lord.
Well, I don't think we will. If we do, trust me, I'll fight it tooth and nail like everybody else has been doing. But let's go ahead. We're going to remove that topic, and we're going to put up on the board 3 minutes. And Nzo, your 3 minutes starts now.
Excellent. Now, this is actually a good topic because I was thinking the same thing about this. Like, when you have Naughty Dog and they're striking channels for not even like showing anything, you know what I mean? Just talking about your product, that's really it's horrible. It's ruining people's life. I mean, people's channels are getting shut down just because they said they're not happy with it, or they either talked about the leaks that were going on, right? So there's leaks that have been going on with this game, and people are just telling you like, yo, we've seen the leaks aren't that good, or the game isn't that good, and they're just hitting everybody. Like, it's, unless you're saying something good about the game, they're striking you, and that good. And that's not cool, man, because like I said, people are doing YouTube for their livelihood, you know? Guys are doing it constantly every day. putting up good content, and just because you're not agreeing with something that's out there, it's stupid. Like, a lot of people are banning the game as well. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, listen, I'm not going to play this game because of what they're doing to a lot of channels on YouTube. And I would have to agree with them. I've never played the game. I never played the first one. And the second one, I'm definitely not interested. I've seen the leaks and some of the rumors, and I'm just like, no. It wasn't my cup of tea anyways. So now I'm definitely not going to even attempt to play this game or buy it. I don't want to know. I don't want to play it. I want to check out the leaks, though. I haven't seen it. I want to see what people are really talking about. But just the fact that a lot of people don't like it and they're striking channels left and right is just one thing that I think, like, I'm banning that game myself personally. So that's my point.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No, that's it. Basically, I'm just straight up, right, really and truly. Like, I mean, if you're not happy, if you're not happy with what they're doing, the only way to let them know is by not playing the game or not buying it, right? Because if people still out there buying it, they're going to feel like they're doing right and everything they're doing is okay. So we can't have that, man. I'm like, really and truly, it's like censorship. They're trying to censor everything we do. And you can't censor someone's opinion. If someone's not interested in the game, they don't like it, they just don't like it, plain and simple.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I totally agree with those statements. So, Danny, give you 3 minutes on the board. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to pretty much piggyback every single word that Nzo uttered, for the fact that I'm not really a big time gamer. I heard this through different conversations I've had on other channels. We're not familiar with the company, or I've heard the ending is pretty gruesome and pretty much just not something that should even be aired. I don't know anything about the company. I'm talking from a total secondhand conversation when I talk about this. So, but right now we live in a world, unfortunately, that you got to be careful what you say, how you look, what you wear, what you even like. If it's something you see and you hit like, that can be the same thing as persons think you said it. I can like something but not like every aspect of what something is said or what something is done. But if you hit that like or that heart or something on there, then you can be thrown in the whole lot with the rest of the knuckleheads. Like I said, I hope this company will do the right thing, whatever that is, to make the necessary statements or retract the game or do whatever it is, because right now is not the time to be saying anything that can be misconstrued or being racial or being biased or being whatever the case may be. We're in a very what's the word I want to use? We're in a very hostile environment now in certain aspects of our society. So I hope that they will stop copyright tracking people just because they don't agree with it. That's violating certain amendment. Seems like YouTube will step in, I would think, or do something. Say, hey, look, it's not something directly that's IP or damaging your bottom line or something, or something. They gotta have some kind of buffer. You just can't copyright track people just for a simple fact that they don't like it. Now, if they're very specific, details that only the company should know, that's a horse of a different color. But if I get on here and say, man, I don't like that game, I think it sucks, blah, 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 I shouldn't receive a copyright strike. Just a minute. But that's something that somebody needs to sit down and try and play a mediator and get this fixed, because it's going to piss off a lot of people. And eventually, if YouTube can step in, it would hurt their bottom line, because people will try to find somewhere else to go to give out their content. So I wouldn't let one rotten apple spoil my bunch if I was YouTube.
Oh, yeah. All right. 3 minutes for me, I guess. That's how it goes. Okay, guys, here's the deal. I'm a big fan of Naughty Dog games. I'll just say that right off. The Last of Us, the first one was, I thought, pretty good. They also do Uncharted, which is a very like sci-fi-ish, not full sci-fi, but like a sci-fi-ish version of Indiana Jones. It's like Indiana Jones. They have some things that are kind of, of course, not really probable, but the way they handled that game was freaking phenomenal. All 4 of those games I have. I just find it really surprising that one, and I'm going to kind of liken this to the Rise of Skywalker. We had basically the full script of Rise of Skywalker 3 months before it came out. We had this whole game laid out for us before it's come out. I mean, it just came out on Friday. Now, I am going to get this game. Now, I'm not paying for it. I won't even go into the particulars of how I do this. But actually, I'll just say that I got a guy that has me check out games for him. So he sends them to me. So I have a copy coming to me in the mail, actually.
Nice.
But here's the deal. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with any company. I've been through this 1,000 times. I don't agree with any company fighting the fans or fighting the very people that they should be court warming. They should be bringing these people, courting them, and saying, guys, okay, we understand you're hearing bad things. We're going to make sure you guys get a chance to play this before we have any response to what you guys have. Because here's the thing, this game hadn't even gotten released and they're fighting people on it already. Folks, here's the thing. One, I don't make judgments before I see the game or play the game. If I don't like it after I play the game, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. But if I haven't played it, I don't care what I've read. I don't care if I have the whole thing laid out to me in a script form. It doesn't mean I'm not going to like it. But that doesn't give the company the right to copyright strike for no reason. Because again, yes, people are not even showing images of this game. They were just talking about it, and they were getting copyright strikes. That, even under YouTube standards, is illegal. It is not allowed. You can't just copyright strike somebody just because they talk about it, because that's a suppression of your freedom of speech. And right now, like Danny said, that is not what you want to start messing with. You don't want to mess with anybody's freedom of speech. You don't want to make anything right now. You don't want to fight anybody right now on any real topic, because we're in a real tumultuous time. We got people who are stuck inside still, who aren't getting able to go out and do the things they like to help them relieve stress. This is a very tense time for a whole host of things. And you really have to watch that. So I don't agree with it either. Let's go 3 minutes between the three of us. Let's talk about this a little more. What should have Naughty Dog done? What should they have done? If they didn't agree with people, should they have how should they have handled this differently?
They could have put out a press statement. Oh, go ahead, Danny.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying they could have put out a statement or something, saying, like you said, listen, I know you guys are hearing the rumors, but don't worry, you know what I mean? Or try to make people understand that the rumors or whatever they're hearing is not the game, or, you know what I mean? Maybe it's not as bad as you think it is, but to go around there and just hitting people's, that was definitely the wrong thing to do.
I don't know if y'all remember when Thriller first came out. Michael Jackson one? Video Thriller.
Yeah.
Thriller, Michael Jackson. Yeah. If you remember, he puts out a disclaimer in the front that the things that you see, the views, it's not his. Yeah. It's just,
and he doesn't believe
interpretation or something. Yeah. They should put out something like that on that game. Whenever you purchase a game and you cut it on, the first thing you should do, that should pop up. Because just because a writer or artist or a game maker, whatever, does a game about vampires or the devil or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean they believe in that actual game they created or story they wrote or whatever, a song they wrote, whatever the case may be. So if they don't believe in this and don't think that way, that's the first thing I would do. As time as you put my game in, first we would have it on the package. Somewhere on the package, you crack open the game and put the disc in there, that would be the second one. And when you physically put that into whatever system you're using, it will pop up for the third time. So I would like hit you over the head. Look, I'm leaving this. This is just entertainment value only, blah, 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 blah. And allude to, and on top of that press release, like Nzo said, that would have been enough for me.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Yeah, the disclaimers and all that. Here's the thing. Naughty Dog had a really, and again, I said I love Naughty Dog games, especially the Uncharted series. They are amazing when they do these games. They are. They look great. They play great. That's what I think. I don't know about this one. I'm not talking about this one. But they had the perfect opportunity to do what so many of us talk about, and that's cause a statement with their game by not saying a word. If we knew that they were going to do the things, and I won't say what they did in case you don't know what they're doing, but if they really are doing what they're doing, it's controversial. I can agree with that. But I've even told people that after I played the first game, I kind of saw something like what they're going to do happening. I didn't necessarily not see it coming, but to fight people on why. I understand that identity politics are being called out. They're saying, oh, they're doing it to pander or whatnot. I don't know that for sure. But I'll say this. They could have just said nothing and then had a statement and said, listen, we were trying to be different. We were trying to inject not a regular script into this idea. We were trying to destroy, or not destroy, but really shake things up within the storyline in a way that you wouldn't expect us to. They could have, but they, and we got some good comments here. Let's talk about this, or not talk about it, but I'm going to go over the. Becky says they just can't handle someone having an opinion that they don't agree with, and that's absolutely true. And that's a problem with a lot of companies right now. David says, yeah, and they made a tough situation and made it bigger than it had to be. Exactly.
They did.
Austinator says Naughty Dog should have not copyright striked anyone because now it's going to hurt sales. I agree totally. And then John, B&B Studios, he says they could have just released the game and waited a week or two before giving any statements. Exactly. I mean, this is, the thing. And then John put out there too, I've heard rumors that they were using offshore companies to do the strikes remotely. And I heard that too. And I think that's
really
you can do that. Yeah. And unfortunately, this is the world we're getting to now, is where
they're trying to create this own chaos.
But people found out. I mean, you can find out anything these days. You can track these things. You can see who. I mean, put it this way: I watch a guy here that's close to me in Oklahoma. His name's Zach Cox. He does a lot of stuff with Grand Theft Auto. He does a lot of Grand Theft Auto videos, and he tracks, the when the new ones are getting released or whatnot. He's mentioned it several times. He can go back and he can find who starts a website, and he knows Rockstar, the guys who released Grand Theft Auto, have up to, I think, Grand Theft Auto 9, the actual .com for it, ready to go. They don't have anything on there, but they own the rights to it already. You can find this stuff out. It doesn't even in these days, in this day and age, it doesn't even take that smart of a person. If you know a little bit about computers, you can find out who's doing this stuff really quickly. Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of them, from what I've heard, have been dropped. But you're talking about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long it took YouTube to get over to it. Because even Geeks and Gamers, they lost their ability to stream because of a copyright strike for a while, and they got dropped. But the thing is 3 weeks, especially when you're the size of somebody like Geeks and Gamers or somebody with over 1 million viewers, or a million subs. When you got that type of stuff, you're really hurting somebody's bottom dollar. Well, that's criminal. Then it's piracy in a sense, and it's ridiculous. Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Tom goes ahead and says warning labels cause more problems than they help, though. And yeah, they can. That's not.
But they get sued. That's what I'm talking.
Yeah, I mean, that is okay, guys. Really quick before we get to the next subject or the next topic, I want to make sure I throw out there in the chat the link to Chaos Central. If you're watching this on the Real Review 3000, you can jump over there. They're being simulcast to both channels right now. But what we need to do is we need to get our subscribers up on Chaos Central to over 100 subscribers. If you guys can help us out, tweet that link out. Try to help us get some people over there. Once we're up to 100 subscribers, we're gonna switch over to doing these streams over on Chaos Central, because that's what these are all for. We each individually have our own channels, but until further notice, we do them on both channels so we can make sure we get you guys watching. So if you guys could jump over there, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're not yet a subscriber to Chaos Central, please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to smash that like button. Now, we're going to go for the second topic. And the second topic, do you think the Eternals, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Shang-Chi will be Marvel's 3 failures based on the current negative feelings about the movies? So, Danny, you are up next. Let me get this clipped out. Let me make sure that we put this up in the chat so people can see what we're talking about. The topic is, guys, do you think Eternals, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Shang-Chi will be Marvel's 3 failures based on the current negative feelings about the movies? And Danny, your 3 minutes starts now.
First of all, people smash the like button.
Please do.
Trying to get as much people in here as humanly possible. Thanks. For those of you that are here, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. These 3 topics, Eternals, Thor, Love and Thunder, Shang-Chi. As it comes to Eternals, I'm going to be optimistic that it's going to do well because I didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy. I still don't think they were all that, but at least the movies were watchable. First one in particular, the second one is hard to watch for me. To me, it doesn't hold up. It's kind of goofy. So I'm hoping that Eternals won't do that because they have more star power, I believe, in Eternals than they had in Guardians of the Galaxy in the first one. As far as Shang-Chi, as soon as the theaters will make up in China, that's going to boost it. I think people are going to over here. I think the Asian Americans that over here are going to support it. Similar to the same way Black supported Black Panther. I think we may see the same thing in that particular movie. In fact, the same way that Kevin Feige deliberately placed it in February for Black History Month, I would find out whatever the Chinese, whatever it is, and I would throw it in that month, that same, and I would capitalize on that. I just think that's smart marketing. As far as Thor, Love and Thunder, this is the least of the 3 that I'm excited to see about. If they do it like the movie, I don't know. She's a very popular popular actress. I don't know if they'll kill her off. If the movie is well received, they may have some kind of safety valve that she can be brought back, or I don't know. It's going to be based on, I guess, the early viewings, see what kind of reception, how it's received. I don't think Natalie Portman should be killed off, but if they're going to be a purist, so to speak, about the storyline, she was killed in the comic books because she had cancer. I don't know if they're going to do that right. Kevin Feige is notorious for changing up certain things that he feels in his mind makes it better. In some cases, it is better. In some cases, it's not. But also, they love killing off their villains. You don't see them kill off the heroes too much. So that kind of makes me think they're not going to kill her off, or maybe in this case, the hammer will heal her versus speed up the cancer. I don't know, but whatever movie comes out first is going to make $1 billion. It don't matter which one. Got enough people chopping out the house. Whatever movie is in the movies first, it will make $1 billion.
What if it's Bill and Ted based in music? You think that's going to make $1 billion if that comes out first?
I think the first movie that comes out, people are chomping at it.
That's scheduled to be like one of the first releases out. I don't see that. I mean, I love Bill and Ted.
I won't say $1 billion on that, but I guarantee you it'll bust.
Oh, I think it'll make its money back easily because of that, but I don't think it'll make anywhere near $1 billion.
No, I don't think it'll make it.
I'll love it. I'll love that movie. I'll tend to say I love it. I love it. Yeah, okay. All right. Anzo, ready?
Ready.
3 minutes on the board. Go ahead.
Okay. So first off, I just want to say is that I don't think any of these movies will be a failure because Marvel has that track record. They may not be good movies, but they will definitely make back the money that they spent on them. Now, to me, another thing that bothers me about this, it seems like this phase is an agenda-driven phase, right? So we have Thor, Love and Thunder, and of course they're going to have a female Thor, which I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with that, not at all. I've never read the comics, so I'm hoping to see something cool. The only problem is I wasn't a big fan of Ragnarok, and I think it's the same director doing Thor. So
Taika
Waititi, right? Yeah, right. So if he's gonna put that comedy into it again and just go off comedy, I know for a fact I'm not gonna like it. But it's not gonna have nothing to do with the fact that they made Thor a female. Now, sorry, the other one, Shai-Chi, I have no idea about this guy, man. This character, I know nothing whatsoever about him. But again, the reason why I say agenda, because we have the woman, right, in Thor Ragnarok, and now we have the Asian, which is kind of like what they did with Black Panther too. I mean, I know Black Panther was a major part of the MCU universe, even in the comics, right? So they had to make a Black Panther movie. But this one, man, I mean, not too many people know about it. So it's definitely going to be something that they want to bring to China, which will actually bring more money in for Marvel. Because once the Chinese people start seeing these movies, they're like, oh, okay, we'll watch more Marvel movies now. So I can understand that. Now, Eternals, it's another one I have no idea about Eternals whatsoever. I don't know them. I've never heard of them whatsoever. I've never read a comic. But again, it was like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Danny said, I never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy either. But when that movie came out, I loved it. It was one of my favorite, the first one of my favorite MCU movies. But Eternals, I say agenda again, because in Eternals, they keep talking about how there's going to be a black gay character, a superhero in the movie. Mm-hmm. And instead of just talking about the movie, they keep acknowledging that part. So this is why I'm saying that Phase 3 seems more like agenda-driven to me. Mm-hmm. I do think all movies will make money because people love Marvel. They will make money. But at the same time, I'm not really excited about any of them. So,
all right. Let me get my 3 minutes up here. So, agenda-based, it sounds like it, but they said the same thing about Captain Marvel, and it wasn't nearly as gung-ho on the woman side of things as they kind of made it sound. So maybe they're just pushing this right now, and it won't be as agenda-driven when the movie comes out. But I do see a problem with Eternals being the fact that Angelina Jolie's character is actually supposed to be a man. Mm-hmm. And I don't care if it's done right, fine, whatever. But that is a very obvious departure. When you talk about Thor: Love and Thunder, this has happened in the comic books. They've actually made this before, so this has happened. Shang-Chi, I know the 10 Rings, I think it is. That's a prevalent thing in Iron Man and in Shang-Chi because the Mandarin is one of Shang-Chi's baddies. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. If they do the Mandarin correctly in this movie, they're gonna get people watching, because that was the one thing that people hated about Iron Man 3 was that they literally dropped the ball. They had the perfect actor. He acted the part. And then you make him this English theater guy who's
yeah.
And everybody was so pissed off. And then you try to make Killian, I think was his name. Mm-hmm. You make him claim to be the Mandarin. It's like, whatever. Mm-hmm. It just didn't work out. But they could very well, if they do this the right way, that movie could be carried on nothing but the bad guy in it. Literally. I mean, if the first words out are the Mandarin in this, people will flock to it. Because they wanted to go. I think Iron Man 3 started off really strong because people heard the Mandarin was going to be in it, and then when word got out that it wasn't the Mandarin, they're like, oh, Mm-hmm. The Eternals, I think, is based along the lines of mix between the Guardians of the Galaxy are in it occasionally, and so is Doctor Strange, and I think what's the Dormammu is one of the bad guys also in Eternals, I think. So there's some question. There's some people talking like it's going to cross over into the Doctor Strange group. So they might show up later on in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I don't claim to be really knowledgeable on the Eternals or Shang-Chi, but I have read up a little more to kind of follow what's going to go on. The Eternals are going to definitely bring in a lot more of the celestial stuff, the planetary beings like Ego and stuff. That's going to bring in more of that stuff, if I remember right. So, yeah, I think that there's a good chance that they could. Yeah, and David says a good thing. Wasted Ben Kingsley talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, not Raptor, what's going on? So let's get these 3 minutes going. Yeah, so I think these 3 movies have a chance to make money, but unfortunately, in today's world, if too many people go out and see it and then say, "Oh no, they just totally screwed the pooch," I think they'll die quick. But I'm hopeful because I want to see more characters built into the MCU. I want more characters because the more they do, the more they can then bring in others and mix up and match them up and make some good movies, I think. What do you guys think?
I absolutely agree with you 100%. You know, like I said, the Marvel universe has so many characters in the comic that they could just keep bringing in new characters every time they do a phase or something like that. I have no problems with that whatsoever. Personally, I do think they'll make money, right? Because Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the biggest risks that Marvel took, and it succeeded. So, again, like, people will be interested to know, especially if you're connecting them to a new Avengers movie or something like that. I absolutely believe that people will still go see them. But you are right. If it is a trash movie, then it's going to be a shit show for sure.
Yeah, I don't think Kevin. If it is trash, one of them might be trash. The first one, but I think Kevin Feige has enough savvy that if he sees that it's going in the wrong direction, he'll make sure that the next 2 are tight, and he'll tighten it up. But to echo off of what Enzo said, I don't think that it may not be a great movie, but it's going to make money because Marvel right now has the people pretty much in the palm of their hand as far as it relates to their movies, and you're going to go see it regardless. It's kind of like Star Wars fans. Star Wars fans are more toxic than Marvel fans, but you let Star Wars put a movie out tomorrow, everybody be chomping at the bit to try to buy whatever device it's going to be on or whatever streaming service is going to be on to see what it is. And right now, Marvel has that same clout. Marvel puts it out. Even DC has that clout. But the only thing is that Marvel has a better track record than the other 2. So I'm not worried at all that they're going to be flops. They're going to make their money. And I'm pretty sure one of them, if not all 3, are going to make $1 billion.
Interesting. I don't know about billion. I mean, I guess any more these days, though, is $1 billion going to become the next norm?
That's the benchmark. That's the benchmark for superhero movies.
I mean, is it a good thing if they start making it just because of what they are? I mean, I want a $1 billion movie to be a movie that is worth $1 billion.
I don't think other movies are going to make $1 billion, but superhero movies for the next foreseeable future, that's going to be the benchmark.
Yeah, but do you really think they're expecting these 3 movies to make $1 billion?
Like I said, 1 out of 3 will make $1 billion. I can't tell you which one.
Okay.
But Marvel movie, if you look back, they have never. You track the 3 movies. 1 out of every 3 of their movies make $1 billion. Some of them make $1 billion back to back.
Not Ratchet
like
says
Captain Marvel, Infinity War, and Endgame. All 3 back to back $1 billion movies. And the last one was a $2 billion movie.
Black Panther too.
Yeah. Yeah. Not Retro says, weird question, but do you think Marvel should go for lower budget movies in case this new wave of movies will not do as well as probably anticipated?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't think so either. I mean, until the formula blows up in your face, don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
They may not make it because of the coronavirus. That may keep them from making $1 billion. But if they open all the theaters back up and everybody can go.
Well, AMC, which is based here in Kansas City, I'll say Kansas City because it's Kansas City metro area. They're based out in Kansas, but within the drive from where I'm at. They've already said that they're going to have at least 3/4 of them opened up by July oh boy, July 17th, and then by the end of July, they hope to have all of them open. And they're the world's largest theater chain, so that they want to be up and running. Plus, they're trying to protect themselves from going bankrupt, and there's been talk of Amazon buying them, which I'd be fine with as long as they keep them here in the States. Which I think they'll keep them here in Kansas City. Whoever buys them, because a Japanese company, I believe, or a Chinese company bought them, and they keep them here because
I would pull my records, and the ones that's doing bad, I would say, look, you're either going to close you or we're going to transition you into a drive-in.
Well,
drive-ins,
fine.
I think drive-ins would kill it.
Next week, the rule of three, just so you guys know, one of my topics will be why has StreamYard not made it so whenever I click on a larger comment, it doesn't block the person on the lower end. All right, guys, let's get to the last topic right now. I will start.
Chris, is my mic better?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to start this one out. I really hope it does. Yeah, okay. And Nzo, the one that you gave me, the first one you gave me today, I will probably move that to next week because I do like that one being on the board, and that's where I'm getting a lot of my topics, guys. These guys,
a hard question, buddy.
We have a lot of topics that don't get picked, so I'm going to start recycling them for my 3 topics. That way, we have some really good questions because there's a ton of questions we don't get to here, guys. And the one I'm talking about, the Nzo, is definitely a good one. And I do want to talk about that because it is something that needs to be talked about. So today, the last topic right now, we've seen Dave Filoni behind the scenes of The Mandalorian. Does this convince you that he should be the president of Lucasfilms? We're going to remove that. Give me just a second to cut this out here. I want to make sure that we have, here we go. I want to make sure the chat has it. Okay, guys, it's Chinese or Japanese. I can't remember who bought them, but they kept them here in Canada.
Because weren't they going out of weren't they going bankrupt
originally? Yeah. And this current company, which is Chinese or Japanese, they are also possibly going bankrupt. But if Amazon buys them, that being an American company, I don't see why they would move them from their headquarters anyways. If that company didn't, why would you move that company?
I don't have AMC here.
Yeah, well, you see, a lot of places don't, but it's the world's largest theater chain. I mean, it's huge. So, all right. So the question is we've seen Dave Filoni behind the scenes of Mandalorian. Does this convince you that he should be the president of Lucasfilms? So my 3 minutes. I still think he should, even before that. I mean, I know he's still a heavy part of The Mandalorian. I know he's involved in all the writing. I know he really has a vision for this. And I also know that he has some people who don't like him because he doesn't stay with his, he kind of mixes and matches up storylines. And he sometimes doesn't follow the exact, true to word version of the different things like the Mandalorians or other things that have been in Clone Wars. But overall, for viewing, for story, it works. He understands, and he probably is more honorable of the Star Wars legacy than somebody like Kathleen Kennedy or Rian Johnson or even J.J. Abrams, because he's worked with George Lucas. I mean, he's been hand in hand with George Lucas on so many projects, going even before this Disney merger, before Lucas even wanted to sell it. He was a part of the prequels. I don't know if I think he was a part of some of the staff who created the models and stuff for the original trilogy. I'd have to go back and really dig into that. I can't remember. But he has an ability to bring this at least to a point where the storytelling's a little better, where the product we're getting is more Star Wars oriented. Now, I know it's hard to really know how good his stuff is because what we've gotten from Kathleen Kennedy and from Disney has been horrendous at best at times. But what we do get from him is much better. So right now, I think at least it's a step up from what we've got, and if nothing else, that allows us to move forward and possibly make Star Wars better. Not great again. I'm not saying the answer to fix everything, but at least he would have some honor of this is what Star Wars means. Now, I also believe that he's the type of person who may very well take back the comment that the EU doesn't exist. He may not use the EU a ton in his movies or in his shows, but he would at least open it back up to be usable for reference or to have a character come in, which Disney's already done, but they still claim that the EU doesn't exist or doesn't count anymore. But I think Filoni would be much more open to saying, no, it does exist. It's a part of this universe. And if we want to use characters or storylines from there, we will, which is, it opens up the ability to do much more interesting movies and shows. So that's what I think. I think, yes, he should be the next president of Lucasfilm. Danny, ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Okay, the question is, should he be the president based on what we saw from the Mandalorian vaccine? I was leaning towards yes at first, but now I'm going to throw this at you. Just because you are very knowledgeable of something and passionate about something doesn't necessarily make you a good leader. There's more leadership than there's more to being a leader than being knowledgeable and being passionate. A good leader, he got to know when to bend, when to not to bend. You got to know when to listen to the fans and when to tell the fans, no, we're not going to do this because of ABC 1, 2, 3. Not say fans no or people that work for him, no, we're not doing this because I'm the president. That's one of the most worst things you can tell an employee that cares about the company is, I'm not doing this because I'm the boss. My boss, who is a fantastic boss, if he says no or I don't think we'll do it now, he usually every time he's told us we're not going to do this because ABC 1, 2, 3 and ABC 1, 2, 3 most of the time makes fucking sense. So that is one of the best things I like about my boss. And so the fact that he's knowledgeable and the fact that he's passionate about Star Wars, that's good. He's needed in the company.
Do you
I'm
think
not necessarily
actually, I'll wait. Go ahead. You keep going. Sorry.
That's fine. What's your question?
Do you think he's the type of person to say no?
I don't know
that,
but I do know in the past that if you are the leader of a conglomerate named Star Wars, usually that comes with some type of ego, some type of chip on your shoulder, and sometimes you can get full of yourself based on what I've seen in the past. I don't know him personally. I think it's better to have a 2 or 3-headed monster versus having one person. Him and Don Favreau, I think they can bounce off each other. Even you might don't want to swallow it, but Kathleen Kennedy can show them some points because she has not been the visionary she needs to be, but her movies are profitable. Whether you like her or not, whether the movie sucks or not, during her tenure, the only flop that I'm aware of that's been made so far is Solo under her tenure. I don't like it, but that's the damn drink. You got to drink it. It's bitter.
Yeah.
So I would limit her interference into it, but she can show them. If anything else, she can show them what not to do, based on the fan reaction to her tenure as captain of the ship. So I just think he needs to put a very good group around him. I think him and him and John Favreau together is a step in the right direction. And with talking to George Lucas as a consultant was definitely excellent. So that's my answer.
All right, Anzo, ready?
Yep.
There you go.
Actually, after listening to Danny, I'm a little bit torn because I was going with yes. No, I really was. I was going with yes. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's not that leader. Maybe that's why. But again, he was in total control of Clone Wars, the animated cartoon that they were making. So he had total control over that. So I think he does have the ability to say yes and to say no. In that clip, he does say that it was George Lucas's idea to bring Darth Maul back, right? So maybe he's just doing what he has to do, and George Lucas still, of course, you know, it was his baby. So George Lucas probably, listen, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Oh, this is what we got to do for this, and we're going to do this, and he has to say yes. But when he does that episode, man, he breaks it down in a way that had me looking at the Phantom Menace and the prequels so differently. Like, really and truly, you know what I mean? Like, when he talks about that last lightsaber battle, you're just like, wow, I never thought of it that way. So he personally has been trained by George Lucas. There's no doubt about it. Even when he's talking, he sounds like George Lucas is talking through him. So I can absolutely see him running the division. I just don't want to see him writing the movies, because I like Mandalorian, but some of those episodes, some of those writings, man, it just, the dialogue seems way too much like Star Trek and not Star Wars. So that's the issue that I have with some of that. Again, it's a very good series. Like, it's not the best, but it's one of the best things that Disney has done with Star Wars so far, at least in my opinion. You know, I know a lot of people like The Last Jedi, and they think that's one of the best, and I understand that. That's your opinion. To me, I think Mandalorian is the best thing that they've done with Star Wars, hands down. So I definitely think that he should be leading it. Like I said, I don't want him writing it. Maybe he can choose some writers. They come in with some stories. He picks which stories he wants. He can do little tweaks and say, okay, this is how it should be. This is how it is. Because when he's talking like George Lucas saying Star Wars is strictly about family and this and that. So get some good writers in there to write a Star Wars movie. He can approve it. Kathleen Kennedy, her run, like, it was just horrible. Her run is horrible. Like, Danny's right. She has made money. You know, that's the proof. Like, all her movies have made money other than basically Solo. So she is doing something right. It's just she's turning the fan base away from Star Wars. So if you continue to do that, then you're going to continually lose fans. So I think they do need to make a change. They can have her as a consultant maybe, but I think Dave Filoni should be running Star Wars, hands down.
There's some good. I'm just gonna put this out there. You guys can go check out the articles, but it supposedly, and let me start this 3 minutes here. Gotta find myself now. Where did we put it? Where did I put it? Oh yeah, here we go. All right, 3 minutes on board. So I think they need to do that. I think they need to make him president because, like you said, Hanzo, Lucas, I think him and Lucas still talk on a regular basis. And I think what George is doing now, and maybe
he's agreeing with him.
No, not just agreeing with him. I think, honestly,
I say he's grooming him.
Oh, yeah.
Grooming, yeah.
Well, they say he groomed Kennedy, but I think the reason why Kennedy was picked was because Disney thought that they can control her, and they've proven so.
I thought she had a little cachet on.
Like, what? Say that again.
She had a little cachet on the Raiders of Lost Ark stuff. That kind of I said okay,
but
that kind of.
I think she had her own agenda though. Like
she wrote off the coattails of that.
You don't go out and just make a proclamation like the Force is female and take it completely out of context and take it completely out of what Star Wars really is. And that's what Filoni is saying is that it's family. It's not this. It's not that. It's just about the family. It's about everybody.
Let me ask you this, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for instance, that women were seen more on movies and then get the bigger breaks and it's got more time and this kind of stuff. And then men were the ones that are trying to get equality.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about that? Because some of this stuff, is it somebody got an agenda or is it somebody trying to fight for equality?
Okay.
Where's the line for that?
I'm going to say this. You can still help your cause and not completely change the fabric of what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Because
he's trying to change the fabric to help her cause. So she's using it in an agenda-based format. That's like saying that not as ruthless and as obvious, I think, as Trump is doing, but I think that it's the same thing Trump did. He said, this is this. She's basically trying to tell you what something that you have loved forever is. Trump tells you that this is what America is, even if you've been an American your whole life and you love America. But he's telling you, no, that's not what this is. This is what it is. And she's doing the same thing in a sense.
I know what you're saying, but as it pertains to a food chain.
I honest to God, though, Danny, I couldn't tell you because we're not in that position. I'm a male. I don't understand that. I can't say that I understand that, but I would tell you that I would sure as heck hope that I wouldn't have to resort to gimmicks as trying to tell people that something that I didn't create is female.
And it's not only that, like, you can make female movies.
Exactly.
You just don't gotta sit there and tell us like this is a female movie. You gotta go see this because it's a female movie. Exactly. And then when people don't go see the movie, you want to blame because you're male and like, oh, you don't like seeing female movies. Aliens was a female-led movie, and that was amazing. And it was an amazing movie. There was nothing thrown in your face or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I have no issues if they want to make all the Star Wars movie females. Just give us good movies, you know? Like, don't make the males in all your movies idiots and just to prove that a woman is better than a male. You don't have to do that. You can still have a strong woman lead without making everybody else look bad.
Yeah, I mean, look at Aliens. Aliens is the perfect example. Nobody listened to her in the first two, in fact. And in Aliens, in fact, they tell her she's basically crazy. And they're telling her this as she finds out her daughter's dead, which she never got to spend much time with. They tell her that. And then they say, no, you're going to go back out there and we're going to prove to you you're wrong. And even after all of that and all hell breaks loose again, what does she have to do? She has to save the day again. And it's all despite
they knew she was right. They was trying to get the aliens for some kind of damn.
Well, they were. No. What they were told is if they're there. That was the case of the first point. That's why they were rerouted. If there's aliens there, they wanted it to use for whatever reason. In the second one, and again, it was go check out the story, and if you find that, if that is there, bring it back. But it's always despite the fact that nobody listens to her, despite the fact that she's female, despite the fact that everybody calls her a liar or whatever, she still perseveres. That's how you make a strong female. Not say everybody else is stupid, this woman's perfect in every way, and then tell everybody go see the movie because this woman's the greatest thing in the world. No, you make her the greatest thing in the world, and you let people go back and say, dude, go see this movie because this woman is a strong character. And that's what makes all of this very maddening, is that, and I don't know how you guys feel about affirmative action. I understand the point of it. I understand the reason for it. But I sometimes wonder, does the person who gets a job because they have to meet a quota, do they feel like they got the job because they deserve the job, or do they feel they got the job because of a quota? And I ask myself that a lot. I promise you, I don't have to. That's not anything that has anything to do with me. And you guys know why. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I understand it. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. But I do feel that there, at some point in time, let's talk about the NFL real quick, where they're now saying if you don't, you'll get draft picks if you hire a black coach, or if you hire a black assistant coach, we're going to give you compensatory picks for your team. Well, what happens to the first black coach that gets hired as a head coach or as the GM, because it's for several different positions on the team? If you get hired and then they get the compensatory picks, what's the first thing you think? Is it, I deserve this job? And yes, you should believe that. You should believe in yourself. But is it because of that, or is it because they're getting something in return for it? I think it's the worst way to do it is by saying, we get something if we do something. And maybe that's where we're at, where we have to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it like a restaurant. If you're hungry and you're starving,
Mm-hmm.
and you always get turned away because your skin color or your sex isn't the right one.
Mm-hmm.
But then the ruler said, okay, if you serve so many dishes on such and such day and you're not white, you're going to get in here and get a meal. What do you think the person is going to do? They don't give a damn whether they deserve it or not. They're going to bust their ass to try to do whatever the criteria is to get in there and get that something to eat.
Well, from my side of things, I don't think that's fair to them. I don't think that's fair for anybody to be judged like that or hungry like that.
When you're hungry, fair don't count.
I know.
And for me, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Because it is a double-edged sword.
I always think, best man for the job. But when you bring up the NFL, you look at how many head coaches there are black or how many GMs there are. Like, they're just not picking us. So at the same time, it's like, how do we get into the door as well, right? How do we become GMs? How do we even become someone that owns their own team?
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword, man.
Okay, let's reel this back in. I want to go down that road sometime with those topics. Maybe we can do a special show or something for those. Let's reel it back in though towards Dave Filoni real quick. Here's the thing: I think if Dave Filoni gets put in, it is kind of because George Lucas has underhandedly thought, how can I get back into my business without actually being in there? He knows if Dave Filoni gets in there, he has a direct line inside to everything that goes on, and he can inject what he wants back into his own projects. Truth be told, Disney should swallow some pride and call George Lucas up and says, how much money would it cost you or cost us to bring you in and make you president of Lucasfilm again? But we will not expect you to follow any forms. You do Star Wars the way you do Star Wars. And how much can we pay you to do that? And we will stay away from it. They should honestly bring him back. And I don't think he wants to.
How about
I think he wants his voice heard.
How about if he used Kathleen Kennedy as a sacrificial lamb? Oh, look, I want you to go in there and just be totally crazy.
He might have.
I already got that $4 billion.
He might have.
Guess what? But you met up, then they're gonna be calling me back, and I'm gonna bring all us back in.
Then why is he so intent on keeping ties up and talking with Filoni? Why is he so much a part of Filoni and his
Only his boy?
And
but why?
And what I'm saying is, I don't think he wants to sabotage his baby. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I really don't think so. He gave Kathleen Kennedy treatments. He said, these are what you should do. These are the treatments.
Oh, he handed them over to
Bob Iger.
But the thing is I don't think there was ever an agreement.
No, I know there wasn't an agreement. But at the same time, yeah, go ahead.
Somebody offered you $4 billion to get rid of all your San Antonio gear, and you got to wear Laker gear. What you gonna do? $4 billion.
You
get rid of all that San Antonio gear and rock Laker gear. What you gonna do?
really had to say the Lakers, Danny.
You can't use that.
$4 billion, but I wear a KKK shirt. I don't give a fuck. $4 billion.
Yes, I'll wear the Lakers. Hands down.
You would wear what?
A KKK shirt.
No.
For a day. For $4 billion.
For a day. For a day.
For a day.
What if okay, let's say, and I'll take the knife since I am the white guy here. I'm the token white guy in this. I'll take the knife. So I'm a member of KKK, which I am not. I want that known. I am not a member of the KKK. But if I am, and I come up to you and say, hey, Danny, I got $4 billion. You're going to wear this shirt. But what you're going to do is you're going to walk out in every protest that I tell you to walk out to during that day. Will you do that $4 billion?
No.
Okay, I'm not giving you $4 billion to wear a shirt. You're going to go in your house and hide for a day. I'm not doing it that way.
Or you got to walk through Compton with it, Danny.
Oh,
hell no.
Yeah.
No. I want to live to spend the $4 billion.
So, I don't know.
See me on the shirt.
I think that Lucas was done with it, and he was shopping around to get some help. Disney thought, hey, maybe we can get our hands into a little bit of this. They were thinking Spider-Man deal, and as Bob and Hen sat down, they were all like, Well, they're talking about it. And he's like, yeah, I just want to finish this up. I'm done. I'm really ready to wrap up this whole Star Wars thing. And Bob kind of got the idea that maybe he'll sell it. And so Bob said, hey, well, let's say we wanted to buy Star Wars from you. What would you want for it? And he threw out what he thought was an ungodly number, $4 billion. He just said, if I have $4 billion, and I'd get rid of it. And
Bob said, done.
Yeah. He's like, holy crap.
Now
and Lucas is sitting there going like, $4 billion? Well, sure, I'll do it. He donated. But you know how he's done with it? He donated it. But I think he still wants to put it on the right track. I think he wants to go in the right direction. That's why he still deals with Filoni. That's why he still has his hands with Filoni and doing some of this.
With all seriousness, I think that if the last 3 sequels would have been successful and the fans loved it, he could have gone off. But right now, he want to fix that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why fix that and come out with something and say, "Look, we're gonna do." I wouldn't do the trilogy formula no more. I would cut that loose. I would do Star Wars movie. The next one might be something different. I don't like all those trilogies because sometimes they can get messed up if the story isn't coherent. Because we got a lot of people that go to movie, they want trigonometry, all that shit. I don't want no trigonometry. I want basic math when I watch the movie. Yeah. I would have one maybe on the Sith, one on Jedi, something else. I wouldn't do a trilogy again.
They'll do a trilogy eventually, but I don't think it's anytime soon.
I like the trilogy thing. I want them to continue doing the trilogies. I just find that I like going to see 3 different stories. I like a movie ending and then wondering what's happening next and how it's going to end. So I like the trilogy thing. Like,
yeah, but look how the last one ended.
Yeah, but that's because they didn't have a.
No, guys. Here's the deal, and I've told this to a bunch of people. I can bring it up. Basically, actually, here I'll share this real quick. I gotta find where I have it.
Like the prequels. Most people can't stand the first movie out of the prequels, but they love the second 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get it. The prequels, I get that. The sequel trilogy, they had no start. They had a start, but they didn't have no end. They had no course of action for those. So that's why I think
like everybody with the sequel, like everybody liked Force Awakens, but everybody hated the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, right. Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right one up. Yeah, here we go. So here's the deal. And I heard this beforehand. This is 2019. I was trying to find the actual article today before, but this is one that basically it's J.J. Abrams consulted with Rian Johnson ahead of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, but he said we had conversations with Rian at the beginning. It had nothing but collaborative perspective, at least personally, I got from stepping away from it and seeing what Rian did. Strangely gave us opportunities that we never have been there. Basically right there, J.J. Abrams admits right here that he stepped back from the project of The Last Jedi, did not give him an outline like some people believe, and told Rian Johnson flat out, and I have a quote in one of these hundreds of freaking websites that I've kept, that basically says, I told him, make it your movie. So people can get mad all they want, but this is a thing of JJ, Kathleen, and Rian Johnson not collaborating from the beginning on 3 movies. That's why you have 3 movies that feel separate from each other. And the fact of the matter, the funniest thing of all of it, in order to try to save the trilogy, what they did is, you talked about treatments, Nzo. Those treatments were used 90% of The Rise of Skywalker. That was basically the trilogy condensed down and with injection from the other 2 movies, and it made for a complete mess.
Well, supposedly the treatment is online, and it's totally different than
the one you're talking about from the original Trevorrow. His full script is out online.
Okay, no, but the one I sent you, it says that's J.J. Abrams' treatments of the movies. So supposedly he gave those to Rian Johnson.
He said before The Rise of Skywalker or the Last Jedi came out that he had nothing he gave to Rian Johnson. All he told Rian Johnson is he said, make it your movie. That's exactly what he said. Now, after
why is he saying it now?
Because he's trying to save his ass from the mess that he made.
I don't know, man.
It goes back to what I tell you, man. Egos, man. Egos will mess it up every time.
Yeah. But what I was talking about.
Give something. Because you can't. I believe he did give something because he started it. So he would have had to have told Rian Johnson what he thought Rey's parenting
Actually,
was.
you want to know the one thing that happened between the two of them for The Last Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
Rian Johnson asked that when Rey went to Ahch-To at the end of The Force Awakens, she was going to take BB-8, and Johnson asked Abrams to change that, and he did. He changed it to R2 going with her for the very reason that it reunited the two characters of Luke and R2. That was actually Rian Johnson's asking, and that was it.
That made sense.
That's the only reason. That's the only thing that he actually admits that he asked Ryan or JJ to do. And then he said that was the only thing I asked so I could move forward, because he said I was already thinking of things. Hold on just a second here. We got a $5 super chat. I love you, bro. I hope you're doing well. Good panel. And Danny is a down dude. Thank you, Rosetta. I appreciate the $5 super chat.
No, just let me ask this, because what I sent you actually has a story written out. So if that's not J.J. Abrams, who is it?
Even Trevorrow calls J.J. a liar, because J.J. and Kathleen Kennedy came out and said, "Oh, the Emperor was always coming back." Trevorrow said, and this goes back to the Force Awakens.
I read.
For the Force Awakens, between the Force Awakens, like around August or so of 17, before The Last Jedi came out, Trevorrow walked away. And he said because of creative differences. And Trevorrow has come out and said, when I left, no, that was not the plan. So from the beginning, Abrams and Kennedy say from the beginning of the talk of the trilogy, before The Force Awakens, that it was always the plan to bring the Emperor back. And Trevorrow came flat out and said, no, when I left, there was no talk of it.
I agree with that.
That's how you know JJ's trying to lie to save his teeth.
But why do you think they had to bring back the Emperor? Because Rian Johnson killed Snoke.
Well, that's fine, but you don't tell him to do what you want. He did. And now you're like, oh, I always thought that because of the force projection stuff, they could have just said that was a forced projection. They could have brought Snoke back in 5 seconds. They didn't have to do anything there. But I'm going to tell you this right now. That I was not talking about the treatments you were talking about. We were talking about two different treatments. There's treatments out there that Bob Iger got from George Lucas. That's what I was talking about. George Lucas's treatments are 90% of what you saw in The Rise of Skywalker. And
I don't believe that.
No, wait.
I don't believe that.
I'm going to show you.
I don't believe that.
No, hold on. I'm going to show you because I've heard that before. But I'm going to show you I got to find my.
There is no way, especially with George Lucas saying he didn't like the movies.
No, I know. No. But that's not what I'm saying. They threw pieces of it together and basically gave you a trilogy, his trilogy with lots of missing parts, and then injected their stories into it. And that's what you got.
Okay, that makes a little bit of sense.
That's what I meant. Hold on. I got to find this, though. And this is really hard to find now. Hold on.
Well, like I said, why you look for that? That makes a little bit of sense. If they took little pieces of George Lucas, but I can tell you, they took nothing from his story. That's not his story.
They took parts of his story, not the full thing. But
right,
what I mean
because
is,
his story had to do with wills and all kinds of shit. Right, so they maybe have took little pieces, like maybe Rey being a Jedi or Finn being a stormtrooper. They may have took pieces of like that, but they didn't take any of the story. I don't.
Well, Rey actually was a part of his original story, not that name, but yes,
I know.
The trilogy was supposed to be about a female force
user, right? Yeah, I know.
This is a direct drawing that he had with him when he talked to Bob Iger. This is his main character underwater swimming at the original Death Star. And this is George Lucas's episode 7. So he already had a lot of that stuff. And what they did is they went back to his treatments to try to make a movie that the fans would like, but they could inject their people into. And that's what I mean. And if I remember right,
they took scenes. I can see that. They can take scenes, but they didn't take the story. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
you can take scenes. Story. No, it's not. It's just scenes from
it's still his story, and not Lucas's story. It's still Disney's story.
Right. They just took little pieces.
Parts of those people and parts of those stories were from him.
I can understand that.
They tore it apart to a mishmash, and what they tried to do is give people reminiscent scenes in the Rise of Skywalker that they would be like, oh, look, it's the Death Star again. Oh, it's the Emperor. They thought that they could bring old fans back, and what they did is just made a mishmash that none of the fans liked, not even the new fans liked, and it was a complete mess. And then, like, the other thing about the new trilogy that is different from the original trilogy and the prequel is they write the books and release them months after the movie is released. Before they came out, about 5 to 6 months before the movies came out. That way, you'd already read it if you were going to read it. And anything that may not be fully in the movie, you knew. They do it now after so they can write stuff in to make up for what they didn't tell you.
No, I get that. But if you go back and watch George Lucas's interview and he's talking about Force Awakens, he tells you straight up that was not his movie. That's not what he wanted to do. No. But Disney, and he called them white slave masters, went and wanted to do a whole rehash of Star Wars. That's what he says. So.
I wanted Finn to be the last Jedi. I wanted Finn to be a Jedi in this. That's who
me too.
If I
me
can
too.
find
it. And I wouldn't have cared if Finn and Rey were Jedis. I wouldn't have cared. But once they made Finn a janitor and all that shit, they ruined his character for me. And I was like, okay, you know what? Danny, what are you shaking your head for? You cannot tell me that making Finn a janitor didn't bother you.
That was kind of a badly timed joke.
It was a badly timed joke, and they made the black man the janitor, stereotyping. No, that's how I see it, man. I'm sorry. And one more thing. We're in the Star Wars universe with robots and aliens and shit. Why the fuck does a stormtrooper? Sorry for the language, but why does a stormtrooper need to be a janitor? Right?
You would think that those people aren't stormtroopers. You think it'd just be somebody.
I can't fight that argument. But like I told you, man, I'm basic math when it comes to movies, bro.
No, I get you. And then if you watch The Last Jedi, right? There's a scene where they have this thing come down as iron pressing their clothes, right? So if they have robots and stuff to do that, then they should have robots and stuff to clean the toilets.
When the Rise of Skywalker came out, and I didn't mind the movie, but I made this background because, dude, I love Finn as a character. He's a man. That first movie, man, they set it up to be really good. And in fact, I would have been all right had they killed off Kylo and made Rey the bad guy, and then had him come and be the last Jedi or rise to something. And he didn't even have to be a Skywalker. I don't know. They had so many great chances in this trilogy to really make something special, and they just muddled it up.
I'm not a Finn fan, so I don't see that vision you talk about.
Like I said, I didn't mind any of the movies. I liked The Last Jedi. I liked The Rise of Skywalker for certain things. Actually, of the three, The Rise of Skywalker looks more like a Star Wars movie than any other movie of the three.
Rise of Skywalker?
Yes.
I absolutely agree with you.
It looks more like an original Star Wars film.
Even the music.
Exactly.
The music is...
And I have to give it to them for that. The treatments, I loved the way that they went into the old Death Star. I loved all of that. It just doesn't make sense why. And here's the thing. Then if you're a fan of Star Wars and you know the EU, and even not even just the EU, but within its own universe that they count as their canon, the thing that he has at the beginning is a is a Sith holocron, but they don't call it a holocron.
Yeah,
they call it basically a GPS unit. And I was like, why don't you admit to the fact it's a holocron?
It looks like a Sith holocron.
Yeah,
it is a Sith holocron, but they don't call it.
The most disappointing thing with these sequels is that the prequels got me spoiled because I'm used to seeing the kick-ass lightsaber fights. They're fighting fast, not like geriatrics. Well, when I first saw a spoiler, it was showing how Luke Skywalker was supposed to have this massive damn lightsaber fight, supposed to be something we ain't never seen. When I go see him project himself halfway across the galaxy, which is impressive, but does that one little funky move, and then that's it. I'm like,
well, here's the thing, though. He never learned those things. He never learned those things, and they don't bring in. See, if they had given us context for anything with Luke Skywalker, I don't think so many people would have been mad. They don't give us context to why he's kept himself away. All they say is it's because his nephew, he found out that his nephew was going to turn out to be a bad guy. That's not a reason why any Jedi would run away. They had to have given context. That's why I've always said, in order to have placated the original fans, they should have done a Rogue One type movie for the original cast where you see why they went their separate ways, why we're in the position we're in when The Force Awakens shows up, and then people might have been able to handle a lot of the stuff that was shown.
I think
Disney has mishandled Star Wars in so many ways, and not even here. Listen, Danny, you're go see the movie and enjoy the being taken out of reality is fine, but when you have 6 movies beforehand, you have to acknowledge those things. You have to follow those rules, so when you step out of that reality and into this reality, it makes sense within that reality. I don't think you can just rewrite reality within its own rules.
You don't. I agree with
that.
I agree that there should be a roadmap.
Yes, they stepped away from that roadmap
and will not ever be a roadmap as long as there's different owners, because that new owner does not have to listen to the rules that applied to the previous owner.
Okay, they don't have to, but they should. They don't have to, but they should.
They should.
Okay, there you go. Fine.
I should be a millionaire, but I damn sure ain't one.
You have. You actually,
Okay.
Danny. You are.
That is just the reality of it.
Danny. You are a millionaire. We all at our ages are millionaires. We just don't have the money. We've all made $1 million.
Oh yeah, sure, but we ain't got it. But my point is,
I look at
what, no, go ahead.
When I look at my bank account, I want to see a lot of zeros. I don't see that now. What I'm saying is that negative zeros. I'm saying like Canon is something that is biblical. I already looked this up. I already did a stream on this. That refers mainly, if you look at a biblical term, because the Bible cannot be rewritten.
But it wasn't even written by the same people, nor it was decided.
Yeah, but everybody that wrote it is dead now. That's what I'm telling you. In order for something to be canon, everybody that has anything to do with it has to be dead. But as long as somebody that's living owns that particular piece of property, canon doesn't exist. I didn't make that rule.
Well, they can change it all they want to. My issue
because they own it.
No, I agree. I have no problems with that. My issue was how they handled the original characters, right? For me, they had the rights to do whatever they wanted to, but what they did to me was take all the growth that they had from the originals and dumped it down the toilet. Mm-hmm. Like personally, I don't see ever, and this is just my opinion, right? What do I know about, I know my Star Wars, whatever, but what do I know? But I just don't see Han going back to smuggling. You know what I mean? That just didn't seem right to me.
That's the thing. There's no context for any of it.
Let me give you a good example. Let's say, for instance, Chris or me or Nzo, we marry somebody and we are a gazillionaire, but we don't get a prenuptial agreement. Mm-hmm. We get a divorce. And because we married X amount of years, the person that
gets
we
half,
married
whatever.
Get half or whatever. I don't think that's fair worth a damn. No, that is a law.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Same thing with doggone Star Wars. I think that they should listen to George Lucas because he created that bad boy. He knows the ins and outs. He knows it intimately. But Disney paid that sucker $4 billion. If I pay anybody $4 billion, you can't tell me a goddamn thing about it.
No, I get it. I agree with you.
I'm saying all that to say this. You can be mad all you want to, but Star Wars is going to be crap until somebody that's in charge is going to say, look, we need to get on this roadmap because this other roadmap ain't making no sense. And the owner of that property is going to have to say, yeah, you know something, Chris, Danny, you're right. Let's go on this roadmap. Until that happens, there's going to be frustrated, pissed off Star Wars fans until Kingdom Come.
But I am honestly not one of those pissed off fans. It's not like I don't like Star Wars anymore. I like Star Wars.
Me too. And like I've said many times, they make a new Star Wars movie, I'll be there the first day to see it.
You know what, Danny? To your point, Danny, I'm not mad because I told people whether or not I should have had to or not, I walked into each of those movies and there were things I had to make up in my own head to make it work. But I had to make my own context up for why Luke was the way it was. One, Luke was a freaking whiny little boy. And through most of the other ones, I don't want to go. But that'd be so hard, and all of this. And yes, at the end, truth be told, he isn't even truthfully a full-fledged Jedi. And I don't care what anybody says. Yoda does not say, "I've rewritten the rules of how to become a Jedi, and you now are a Jedi." He says that he can't be a Jedi until he faces his father, but he didn't say that alone makes him a Jedi. He is the only last one that he can carry on the Jedi.
It's kind of hard to do that when your master dies before you complete the training.
And that was Luke's trial to be a Jedi, right? All Jedi go through a trial. So after he defeated Darth Vader, he became a Jedi.
I don't think so because there's no more Jedi. What he is the new chapter of Jedi. He's only granted Jedi or Master Jedi because he takes the mantle. He was the Master Jedi because he beat his trial. He wasn't told that's why. He was not told. He said you have to face Vader first.
Right, which he did.
But that doesn't mean
you will not be a Jedi. You will not be a Jedi until you face your father. So no matter what he does after that, he faces his father. He's a Jedi.
He takes
if you're the only one. If you're the only one that knows a particular, if you're the only person in the world, in the planet galaxy that knows a particular art style religion, then you are essentially the master of that.
Well, but he takes the mantle without knowing. I don't think he's ever confirmed. I mean, even Yoda in The Last Jedi doesn't confirm it. He just calls him a master. But I mean, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of things out there that even Lucas put in that doesn't make sense. Why did we have metachlorians? I told people metachlorians give them the right to do whatever they wanted to do with Rey, because the answer to metachlorians is metachlorians are designed to balance the Force so it's equal. So whatever metachlorians have to do to balance the Force, they'll do, which that means that they have to make a Jedi out of a female child and give her all this power just like that. Then that makes sense because that's how it basically works. So that's why Rey is so awesome, is that she has to face the stuff. So she's given that power.
Checks and balances now. We're not going to let one side be stronger than the other one for too long.
Exactly, and that's what. And I say, so I've told people before, you want to get mad at Disney for doing some of this stuff, you can go back and say Lucas is to blame for a lot of this. One, for selling it without any stipulations. Two, he added a lot of extra stuff that we didn't need or didn't have before the prequels. Listen, I was told in the original trilogy that Yoda trained Ben, not Qui-Gon. I was told that the Force was a mystical, oh God, how does Obi-Wan put it? He basically says, it's something, it surrounds us and binds us. And that's all he says. He doesn't say that there's these microscopic things in your blood that make it happen. He just says it's a mystical force. And so when he changes that in the prequels, he did a lot of stuff that opened it up for a lot more interpretation for Disney. And if he hadn't have done all that, I think maybe, it is what it is. I mean, yes, I do believe, Austinator, that gray Jedi are canon, whether or not they have been fully, absolutely named. They were in the Clone Wars, if I remember right. What?
I'm just remembering this conversation.
But they were in the Clone Wars. It is rumored that Qui-Gon was one. I believe that Luke became one. Some people believe that Mace Windu was one. some people believe that while Yoda identified as a full Jedi, he understood the gray Jedi.
Chris, there is no such thing as gray Jedi in canon.
I don't care.
I'm just letting you know that.
It depends. No, according to Disney
I googled it last night. I googled it last night.
Look it up though. There's tons of different places on that.
Right, but there is no Jedi in gray Jedi in canon. I could send you the link.
According to Disney, and I have to find the Clone Wars one. And like I said,
Danny watched it. There is no Clone Wars, and I can go and I can send you the link right now. Says
I'm not getting back in that argument.
No gray Jedi in canon.
Do I believe whatever you want canon? Yes, I do. Okay. That's what the question was. I believe it's canon, and I don't really give a crap because
But how can you believe it's canon when it's saying, and when I'm googling it, telling you that it says there's no gray Jedi in canon?
Which site was it? Who was it?
Not a site. Just Google is gray Jedi in canon, and you will see an article that says there is no gray Jedi in canon. I actually still have the picture on my phone.
Yeah, but the thing is, I want to see which one. And this is just off of this is just fandom.com, which I don't buy because
and it's the fandom.
Now they say Wikipedia, or they say Wikipedia, but Wikipedia now, the problem with Wikipedia is that they've had a lot of rewrites on it. Yeah, I know.
Right there. See that there?
Oh no, I know. Okay. I know. But
I'm just saying.
No, it says right now. Here's the thing. Like I said, I know that it's been mentioned before. I believe, like I said, it's in the Clone Wars. And you guys are asking.
It can't be in the Clone Wars if it's not in canon. It can't be in the Clone Wars.
But I'm saying, no, here's the thing. I remember an episode where it was mentioned.
You are wrong.
No.
Because it can't be. If it's not in canon, which it says, then it cannot be mentioned in any of the Star Wars movies.
Do you believe everything you read on the internet?
I believe this.
See,
because I watched Star Wars and I've watched the Clone Wars and I've never once.
Okay, I'm going to say the same thing I said to Robert Storms to you. I will find what I'm talking about. I have very limited time in which I can do so.
But that was months ago and you still haven't found it.
Because I don't. Do you understand? I'll point this out to you. I work 60 plus hours a week. I have to make videos 5 days a week. I do all these streams. I have maybe an hour a day.
I get it, but we have Google. So all you gotta do No. You gotta go on. No, hold on. Listen to me. You go on Google and you type in Gray Jedi in the Clone Wars.
And they will tell you Google will tell you things that aren't true too.
But if you're specific and you say which episode in Clone Wars do they say Gray Jedi, it will come up with that episode. So that it only takes 60 seconds to do that. Yes,
because I've tried that. I've tried that with all sorts of songs that I've found.
But you
okay, no. Nzo, just understand that. I will find it for you.
Okay.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, you got my link. You send it to me. And
hey, Dan, I'm not going to send it to anybody. I'm going to play it.
And when you do, I will come on here and I will absolutely apologize to you.
That's fine.
Right then and there. I will say I'm sorry. I was wrong.
That's fine.
All right.
I'm not asking you to believe it right now because I don't tend to have anybody believe it. But I'll tell you right now, I don't believe a damn thing Google ever.
I get you. There's some shit in there that's wrong, but there's some shit in there that's absolutely on point. So it's up to you to decide what you want to believe or not. But I know that I have never Googled anywhere where it says Gray Jedi is in canon. Everything it says is not in canon. So if you Google it, you will see that there's nowhere where it says a Gray Jedi is in canon. There's nowhere.
Oh, and by the way, the person who stated it is Pablo Hidalgo, who has been found to be inaccurate in a lot of different statements he's made.
Not because there is no Gray Jedi. So, like I said, when you give it to me, then we'll talk about it. When you show me the proof, then I can say I'm wrong. But until then,
we'll do it.
We'll do that.
All right. With that said, guys, I love your private chat there, Danny. I love it. Okay. With that said, though, guys, we've gone over our topics and all that. So let's go ahead and let Danny and Nzo. Go ahead and tell y'all where they can where you can find them. And please, again, really quick before we do that, let me make sure I cut this out and paste it so you guys can do me a favor. And do me a favor, guys, go to the Chaos Central site, please, or the YouTube page, and please subscribe so we can get up to 100 subscribers. That way we can start doing these streams specifically on Chaos Central where they belong. Right now you're watching it on the Real Review 3000, maybe, I don't know. Let's see here. We got 8 people watching. 5 are on my channel, 3 are over there. So if you're watching on Chaos Central and you're not a subscriber, please do me a favor, go over there and become a subscriber today so we can get to 100 subscribers so we can get our vanity title and so we can start streaming over there. We have to have 100 people on there to start streaming so we can argue about stuff like Grey Jedi and all sorts of other crazy stuff. So with that said, are you guys still here? Okay, you guys
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I think you're frozen.
Yeah, I'm froze too.
Do me a favor, jump out and jump back in really quick, and we'll see if it fixes it real quick. So I want you to go ahead and tell everybody about it.
Oh, I can't even jump out.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to remove you and bring you back. Hold on. Interesting. Are you there still?
I'm here, if you can hear me.
Yeah, but, and now he's gone. Well, maybe he'll jump back in here real quick. Okay, Danny, I'm going to let you go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and where they can find you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Pete. My name is Danny Graham. My channel on YouTube is Comic Chats. This is one of the 3 shows that I do every week with Chris. We do the Chaotic Conversation, Chaotic List, and the Rule of 3, which you can find on Monday nights at 9 for the Chaotic Conversation, Tuesday nights at 9 for the Chaotic List, and 3 p.m. on Sundays, Eastern Standard Time, all those times for the Rule of 3. I will be on here in the next 27 minutes doing my other show I do on Sundays, which is called Equilibrium, starring myself, Nzo, John, and Terrence. So please join us in 27 minutes on my channel. We'll be talking mainly about Stargirl and some other good information. So please definitely join us. And also on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, catch me and Nzo on a new show we just started last week called Square One.
Is it actually, is that supposed to be called We Get to Talk on this one?
Yes, we actually do
we
get
to
talk. And we
on the show you can do 27 minutes. You may hear me and Nzo speak a total of 3 times, maybe together.
They're pretty.
We got 2 buzzsaws on there that they take up the lion's share of the conversation. But it's good conversation. But if you want to hear more from us, and we answer all the questions in the chat on Square One, me and Nzo. So if you want a little more mature,
yeah, absolutely, 100.
When I say mature, I don't mean childish. I mean mature as in older guy perspective. The other 2 guys in their 30s, and also your questions you ask, we can answer, and it's not limited to sci-fi, DC, Marvel. It's by everything.
Yeah,
there's certain things I can't talk about because of my job, but anything other than that, we need to discuss it.
So guys, go check that out here in just a few minutes. They got that going, and now Nzo, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where they can find you, all that fun stuff.
Yes, sir. You guys can find me at Biggaford Entertainment. We do the same thing that we're doing here. I do with Rob on his show, Storms Live. I got Equilibrium with Danny, which is coming up next. We got Square One. So we're trying to create content for everybody. Hope you guys enjoy what we're doing. Come check us out. If you want, come check out Equilibrium. You're going to definitely enjoy the show and get some good laughs, guaranteed. Just Danny's facial expressions alone will make you guys laugh.
Yeah, and I am Chris Knight. The Real Review 3000 is my channel. If you're watching over here, please do me a favor. If you're not yet subscribed, smash that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. I just made it over 2,000 subscribers. And yeah, things are getting crazy. So guys, thank you for showing up today. Nzo and Danny, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it very much. And with that said, guys, let's say goodbye. Goodbye.
Peace.
Goodbye.